Iowa on the biggest stage in the women's game. These two young ladies in particular are no strangers to being part of the biggest moments in our sport.
Yes, business is booming, especially for those games, just like what happened in the Big Ten with Iowa playing in those sold-out arenas.
Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. That's the legendary duo Joe Budden used when he compared Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But are these WNBA rookies truly operating on that historic level? Or is that comparison a serious stretch? Before we go any further, I want to ask you for a quick favor. If you're enjoying this content, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. More than 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, but it makes a massive difference for us. Did you hit that subscribe button? Awesome. Thank you. Now, let's get back into it. Let's talk numbers. Reese is pulling down nearly 13 rebounds per game, dominating the glass night after night. Meanwhile, Clark is putting up around 18 points per game. Pretty impressive, right? But here's the big question. If Clark is scoring at such a high clip, why do some analysts still lean toward Reese? The reality is, this storyline isn't nearly as straightforward as it looks. Let's break it down. Caitlin Clark is averaging a remarkable 18 points per game, more than any other rookie in the league. On top of that, she leads all rookies in assists, dishing out 8.1 per game. And here's another eye-opener. She's knocking down 2.8 three-pointers per game, which actually puts her at the top of the entire WNBA in that category. That's serious offensive firepower. But here's where it gets interesting. Angel Reese isn't fading into the background. Not even close.
Some comments about the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark race, and I gotta tell you, makes some very smart comments.
So, Caitlin Clark is a hell of a lot better than Angel Reese.
She's also been playing at a historic pace, putting together a double-double streak that has the entire league buzzing. Watching this unfold feels like witnessing a clash between two rising superstars, each bringing a completely different skill set to the hardwood. So with numbers like that, you might be thinking Clark has this race locked up, right? Not so fast. Some analysts are adding another layer to the conversation. For example, Monica McNutt from ESPN has argued that we can't just stare at the box score. We also have to consider team success. Take Reese's team, the Chicago Sky. They're still in the playoff hunt, and that matters. In this debate, impact is starting to outweigh raw individual statistics. So the real question becomes, can Clark's extraordinary individual brilliance outweigh Reese's role in pushing her team toward postseason contention? That's the heart of the discussion. But wait, there's another layer to peel back. Since being left off the Olympic roster, Clark's level of play has noticeably risen. It's almost as if she took that snub personally and turned it into motivation. Her surge in the Rookie of the Year race isn't just about gaudy numbers. It's about growth, resilience, and responding to adversity. At this point, the argument isn't just Clark versus Reese. It's individual dominance versus team impact. It's production versus progression. Your head might be spinning trying to process it all. And then there's the quote that really fueled the fire, coming from Joe Budden. Sometimes being the best player doesn't automatically make you the most valuable. Let that sink in for a second. This conversation goes beyond who fills up the stat sheet with the flashiest numbers.
Yes, business is booming, especially for those games, just like what happened in the Big Ten with Iowa playing in those sold-out arenas.
Now, we're not just debating who fills up the stat sheet. We're talking about who truly impacts their team, the league, and the flow of the game itself. It's almost like comparing apples and oranges, except these apples and oranges can crash the boards and knock down threes from deep. So, what does all of this mean for the Rookie of the Year race? It means we can't just glance at the numbers and make a quick decision. We have to dig deeper. We have to weigh the intangibles. We may even need to rethink what the word valuable actually means in the WNBA. You might think we've now covered every angle of the Clark versus Reese debate. But what if their biggest impact isn't even happening between the lines? There's a whole different game being played off the court, and it could change everything. This rivalry is no longer just about who hits more threes or who grabs more rebounds. It's sparking conversations that stretch far beyond the hardwood. We're talking about representation, race, media narratives, and what it means to succeed as a woman in today's professional basketball landscape. Think about it. When was the last time a WNBA debate exploded across social media like this? Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese aren't just competing in games. They're reshaping the national conversation around women's sports. It's not just diehard basketball fans tuning in anymore. Celebrities are sitting courtside. Arenas are selling out. There's a buzz in the air that feels impossible to ignore. Still not convinced? Let's look at the numbers. Caitlin Clark earned an astonishing 700,733 All-Star votes. Angel Reese followed with a strong 381,518. That's not just impressive, that's transformative. Those aren't just votes, they're statements. They're fans saying, "We're paying attention, we care, and we want more." And this isn't simply a popularity contest. The WNBA is benefiting from this rivalry in a massive way. When Commissioner Kathy Engelbert said, "Apathy is the death of a brand," she wasn't exaggerating.
Caitlin and Angel Reese, coming off of last year's national championship, was the most viewed ever. Now this year, we blew those records away, and we're so excited to have Caitlin.
Or at the midpoint of a WNBA season that's been like no other. Record-setting numbers on the court, in the stands, and on television.
She absolutely hit the nail on the head. This season has brought a surge of new supporters into what the league calls the fan funnel. There's nothing indifferent about the WNBA right now. People are paying attention. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark aren't just competing for their respective teams or chasing personal milestones. What's unfolding feels much bigger. In many ways, they're playing for the direction and growth of the entire league. New fans are discovering the game, longtime supporters are more engaged than ever, and every crossover, every block, and every post-game comment adds fuel to the momentum. And here's where it gets even more compelling. The real story stretches far beyond the 40 minutes of game time. It's also about what these athletes represent when the clock isn't running. Angel Reese summed it up perfectly when she pointed out that people are showing up in huge numbers, celebrities courtside, arenas selling out, and much of that excitement traces back to the buzz created by the 2023 National Championship showdown between LSU Tigers women's basketball and Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball in the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship. That game didn't just crown a champion. It ignited a movement that continues to ripple through the professional ranks today.
At the end of the game, what happened? There's a lot blown up on Twitter about Angel Reese following you around, pointing to her ring finger and taunting you.
Iowa on the biggest stage in the women's game. These two young ladies in particular are no strangers to being part of the biggest moments in our sport.
What started as a heated Rookie of the Year debate between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has evolved into something much bigger than rivalry. It's become a driving force behind the surge in attention surrounding the WNBA. While the media frames it as a clash, both stars understand the larger picture. Their competition fuels ticket sales, social media buzz, highlight reels, and national conversation, and soon they'll even share the court as teammates in the All-Star game. Reese has openly welcomed the spotlight, while Clark has downplayed the drama, but together they've created a win-win moment for women's basketball. They can compete fiercely without being enemies, pushing each other while also elevating the sport's visibility, credibility, and cultural relevance. At the end of the day, this isn't just about who's better. It's about two rising superstars helping propel women's basketball into a new era, proving that the real winner in the Clark versus Reese debate is the game itself.